Hello, welcome back. It's been a moment. I know I couldn't stream yesterday or day before. Day before I usually don't stream, so we're back now today. Not much has happened either way, so not a big deal, but still nonetheless some stuff to cover. So we'll go through that right now. In terms of Bitcoin's current price, it was a bit spooky earlier this morning, I will not lie. We were dropping. It wasn't even that bad as before, but Bitcoin's slight drop made the rest of the altcoins, as you could appreciate, drop quite a large percentage, right? Bitcoin's hardly down anymore. It's already recovered most of its drop that it had this morning. Current price of Bitcoin, 103,500, but still above 100,000. That's all that really matters. Also, what should matter is us staying above super trend line, staying above pivot support, 100K, and the uptrend as well, of course. We were all projecting we can get a drop, and it still can happen. And that is what most people are still expecting, I would say, at this point. We were not able to make another high ever since May 12, which was, it was only 3 days ago. I feel like we're stressing a little too much, but the possibility still stands, and that is what most people are expecting, is a drop to around this zone over here, 98, 97,000, where we could see we can see some correction in the price because it has, well, admittedly, right, gone up quite a bit. But, if we do get a drop, we will still maintain our uptrend so long as we stay above this support, is what I said, 97, 98,000. And from there, I mean, RSI should be oversold, hopefully. That would give us the opportunity for entry so that we can continue rising upward from here. At least is what you should be checking that on the 4-hour chart, the RSI. See if you can get any good entries from here. Because if you change like time frames in the 1-hour chart, you kind of hit that oversold area over here, which sure, for short-term trading could work out, but my opinion, that's just a false signal, and it's probably better to pay attention to a larger time frame like the 4-hour chart. Or if you really do want to play it safe, you would be looking at the 1-day chart, in which you can appreciate the fact that we are technically still considered overbought in the daily chart. Not really that good of an indicator in this case, meaning that a drop is imminent nonetheless. How significant? I don't think it's going to be that big of a drop, because we have been considered overbought for a very long time. Ever since we hit like above 90,000, we've kind of stayed at the top area of the RSI and the daily chart, right? We did reach a low point at 58 over here, but that was quickly undone, right, with the rise to 100K plus, which is where we are currently. So as of right here, we could see something like this, like even if it's not that significant of a dip, something to get us out of the overbought territory in the daily chart, which I'm pointing at could be around this area above 97,000. So that's just the only thing I would be paying attention for in Bitcoin. And once that does happen, RSI 4-hour will be oversold, hopefully, and that'll be the entry signal, at least for me. You make your own decision. Some people are saying that we're already at the end of the cycle. I firmly do not believe that. A couple of reasons why. Alt season has not happened. Bitcoin still, there's still so many fundamentals that are not priced in. We're still getting rate cuts. M2 global supply is still rising. The offsets, still pointing in a positive direction for the next couple of months. It's just overall a lot of bullish factors still. So I do not think we're at the end of the cycle. We're far from it. So that being said, hardly down any percentage today. 103,500 for Bitcoin, not bad. And let's go have a look at Ethereum. Ethereum, on the other hand, had a rise on the 13th of May, day before, sorry, 2 days ago. We reached a high of 2,738, meeting with that resistance at the Fibonacci zone. Where do I have this drawn from? Okay, I see. From basically all-time high. So this is an important resistance that we unfortunately were not able to break. We bounced off of that. We're currently at 2,543 for Ethereum, down 3.46%, but it's only down that much because we did hit a nice high 2 days ago from here. So kind of just retracing back from that for now. So that's the important resistance that we got to pay attention to. Our support level still stays firm at 2,425. In validation for an uptrend, I mean, realistically, we got a long way to go because we have a very shallow uptrend, but we have a steeper one that's kind of forming over here. We could see a correction, wouldn't surprise me, but we shouldn't see Ethereum under 2,000 ever again. Maybe. Not financial advice, but you get the point. Solana reached its high of 184, also one of the few who did reach a good high 2 days ago. We have a resistance at 186, explains why we did not continue further. Retrace this back to near this Fibonacci zone, which is where we are right now at $170.75, down 3.89%. Pretty similar deal to what we're seeing with Ethereum. But in terms of a bounce upward for continuation of the movement, I'm looking at this pivot at 164, 165, you could say, which should coincide with this uptrend. Worst case scenario, I mean, we could still readjust, still stay above an uptrend if we stay above 155. So it's either 165 or 155 to pay attention to for Solana. In terms of, yeah, the overall outlook, the recovery is really good. It's not that bad. I'm fine with where Solana is. I wouldn't mind a drop over here. Would be a great area of accumulation. And we are pretty low on the RSI as well. I don't really check RSIs for altcoins because I mainly believe that Bitcoin is the bigger driver for these. But you'll notice in the daily chart as well, we're kind of coming out of that overbought zone, which is a good thing. It gives us more, momentum to regain some accumulation around here. I'm expecting at least. And then we can continue higher. Otherwise, we'd just be continually overbought, which is not essentially that good because that means a reversal is imminent. Right now, though, the trend is still upward overall. This is just a small correction. Nothing should be too much to panic over, right? So it should still be fine. Let's have a look at XRP 2.36. XRP is kind of having a bigger retracement, it seems like. Reached a high of 265. Resistance really was 271 approximately, but it didn't even reach that high. And from here, we're kind of looking for this pivot support level at 232. Super trend is coinciding perfectly well with the uptrend that we have drawn ever since our lowest point. We did have a bit of a super trend flip over here, but it came back into our favor. So I think us staying around this area would be a great accumulation for XRP if it does become oversold, and it is approaching that area right now in the RSI. So still a while to go. Not a long way to go, but it can still drop down another 5%, which absolutely could happen by tomorrow or a weekend decay. You never know. Would still be a good opportunity for DCA, in my opinion, on XRP. It's considering the fact that it has not gone up as much as the rest. Like I said, I use this example all the time, but comparing SUI to XRP, both were at $2.04 at their worst. Even worse for SUI, right? Even XRP did worse than SUI with the drop. They were both around over here, 203, 204. And SUI has just completely outpaced XRP. XRP has stayed down here. It's had its run just very recently, though. But, if both coins are going to cost the same thing, you want the one that gives you the better return. And you could already tell which one gives you the better return, literally just by looking at the current price. SUI is at 383 compared to XRP 235. XRP has not gone up much. SUI, on the other hand, really, really good. Has not had a negative super trend, which I was kind of expecting at one point over here, but I was glad we didn't. We got our next leg up over here. This is the rise that, it got that contagious behavior from Bitcoin when it reached 100,000. So everything practically rose over here. SUI specifically rising above $4, reaching a high of 429 in general. And that happened 3 days ago, 12th of May. Now with 2 days ago, I showed Ethereum and Solana pump to a little bit higher points. SUI in this case did not. It only reached a high of 410 approximately. From there it dropped and seeked some support level over here at the uptrend, which it happened to maintain successfully, and it brings us above the pivot level. Current price is 383. I'm just going to readjust this uptrend since it is still valid. And when it would really become invalid is SUI dropping below 340. Realistically, this can still happen. We have plenty of room for Sui, either a drop to 354 or a drop to 340. I would say, yeah, between this area over here is where we could be seeing some oversold conditions in the 4-hour RSI for entry long term toward the upside. Otherwise, you know, you should already have been inside a Sui over here, which I still am, by the way. Haven't sold. Well, I sold one of my positions, but it was a later position that I bought. It was just a quick trade. But overall, yeah, Sui has still got great potential to continue rising. I think it's going to absolutely be a top performer in this cycle. So, yeah, we'll see how that will do. Next resistance we're looking at is 443 approximately, then 460. All-time high level we know is this 537. We're really not that far off. I think Sui could be one of the first altcoins, at least the ones that I care about, that will break its all-time high first, right? To be fair, Sui is a new coin. It did not experience the 2021 cycle, so it didn't have like an all-time high to be compared to as like 4 years ago with the last cycle, as compared to, you know, other coins like XRP or Cardano or Solana. Solana has done well though, or let's see, Ethereum, right, or Litecoin. Still got a lot of room for those altcoins before they reach their all-time high. Even Solana, right? It made an all-time high this cycle already, but now it's it dropped to half of that, right? 50% drop, over a 50% drop. So still on the wait for Solana to rise back up again. I'm hoping it breaks 200 soon. I'm assuming it will once Bitcoin does reach a new all-time high, meaning Bitcoin would have to be above 110,000. Can I please get rid of that? Cardano is 76 cents. I actually entered a big position at 80 cents because I thought it was also one of the coins that has not managed to rise as much as the rest. And I also don't have too much Cardano in my portfolio, so I need to start loading up a bit more on it. And I still think 80 cents is still a little cheap. Now, I know it dropped. It's at 76 right now. I know it sucks. I am losing. But I mean, I still did buy one position, like a bit lower here. Could have been over here. I don't remember exactly where I bought it. But it's in profit. So that's offsetting my losses for now. But I still do believe Cardano has a good potential to rise as well. XRP is another coin that I have to load up a bit more on. And same with Litecoin. But I don't like where Litecoin is right now. It did make a good recovery, I will give it that. But considering the fact that Litecoin was at like, what, 60, 50, 63, okay. Yeah, I could have absolutely entered more over there, but I didn't. Like, my only entries was at 92, which I already took some profit from, and 102, which it's currently at a loss. So Litecoin's another coin that I have to start DCing a bit more on, and we'll have to wait until oversold conditions are met. You have to be patient in this because otherwise you will get wrecked. You cannot be entering positions when a coin has already made its movement upwards, right? You're just expecting to lose at that point. The momentum will swing downwards. It's inevitable. It's a correction that has to happen. So you just got to be cautious of where that area might be. For Litecoin, I'm expecting to see that between 89 and 92, right? Below the support. Because this is the uptrend that is currently the one that works, right? We shouldn't see it breaking that, hopefully not. Also, we do have an important support at 87, which I have been paying attention to for a while. So, yeah, that further reinforces it with my analysis. Did I really talk much about Cardano? Not really. We're at the support currently at the pivot, 75, 76 cents. It's still fine, and, I mean, worst case scenario, drop to 70. But no less than that. And if it does drop to 70, you best believe I will be entering some more. A lot more. Because I do need more exposition to Cardano. I'll just probably like make one large entry here and then just leave it for the rest of the cycle. Like I'm planning to take profits either by August or September. I don't know about September, but July or August is where we could see some cycle highs. Maybe. Some people even say it's going to be the same thing as last year, like Pumptober, Moonvember, or Moon December. What was it? Bull December? I don't even know. You probably get it if you know the meme I'm referencing. The Don't You Know Pump It Up song. Yeah. But still, I mean, compare all those altcoins to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's still, it's recovered, right? It's technically in a range. But the altcoins are already preparing for a drop as if they're expecting Bitcoin to also drop to around this area. A lot of analysts are predicting this kind of area for Bitcoin to be dropping to, myself included. This VIP extension is doing really good, by the way. Perfect coinciding with resistance 2, perfectly coinciding with the resistance that we currently have. And the target of 135k is also what a lot of people have, also coinciding with resistance 5. 122, I'm assuming just 120, right? Like, we're expecting a resistance, obviously, here at 120k Bitcoin. Yeah. And then this is the all-time high. 109,900, call it 110k. All right, let's have a look at the news that we have to cover. So where has President Trump been this whole time? He has been in Saudi Arabia, in Qatar, in United Arab Emirates, Abu Dhabi, signing deals, making big moves. And they've been really nice. They've been very receptive to Donald Trump. They've been treating him very well, and a lot of deals are being signed there. So it's important to go over all of that. First of all, $1.2 trillion Qatar deal, the biggest deal in the U.S. Gulf history. Here's some more details. $96 billion Boeing and GE deal, the largest aviation order ever. So you'll notice Boeing stock, for example. Let me talk. I will be talking a bit about stocks in this stream because there's some important stuff to talk about as well. It's not really related to crypto, but could have some relation soon. I am at a very tiny time frame. Let me go to 4-hour chart. Yeah, Boeing has been rising because of this acquisition from Qatar, purchasing a lot of planes. It would also give 150,000 plus American jobs annually, million plus jobs total impact, real paychecks for real Americans. That's just the beginning. We're also getting $8.5 billion McDermott energy deal, $97 billion Parsons infrastructure projects. I don't think we know too much about this. $1 billion quantum computing investment. That is just the start. Defensive investments, jobs. What is this? Real jobs in Kansas, South Carolina, Ohio, dozen more states. There's a $2 billion trade surplus with Qatar. That's pretty good. $3.3 billion Qatar investment in the U.S. from 2023. And 20 plus years of positive trade balance. And also with Saudi Arabia, it was a $600 billion deal. So that's good for jobs and stuff like that. Trump is doing a good job there. It's a 4-day trip in the Middle East. He already raised $2.5 trillion in capital for the U.S. United Arab Emirates investing $1.4 trillion. Saudi Arabia $600 billion, Qatar $500 billion. The combined value of these investments is larger than the market cap of all but 3 public companies in the world. That is crazy. I'm assuming they're talking about here Apple, Microsoft, and Nvidia. Excluding those, maybe. This marks the largest foreign investment commitment ever raised by a president in U.S. history. And it's good that the United States is doing this and not, let's just say, China, right? Someone who we're in a trade war with. I say we, but United States, right? You get the point. Saudi Arabia has also signed an agreement with Nvidia to purchase several hundred thousands of its AI chips. Good for Nvidia as well. Large cap tech is expanding to the Middle East, and Trump is looking to capitalize on that. Keep in mind that these guys are also very pro-crypto, pro-Bitcoin. So that'll be really neat. Trump is now favored to win the Nobel Peace Prize per odds checker as well. I'm assuming this is because him trying to stop the war, I guess, with Israel, Iran. India, Pakistan immediately stopped it. And today, Thursday, was the day that Zelensky from Ukraine and Russian officials were supposed to meet up in Turkey to discuss a potential ceasefire deal. Now, Trump was also mentioning that he would make an appearance since he would be in the area today, but it seems like I don't think that's going to happen. Right now, it's probably like overnight for them, going into Friday, of course. So Thursday has already technically passed. and Trump is not in Turkey. The reason why he was saying he was going to go was that's to ensure that President Putin would also go from Russia. But turns out Putin didn't go, I think. I couldn't find much news on this, but yeah, it seems like Putin didn't go. Zelensky probably went, and Russian officials went in there as well to try to make a deal. I'm not sure if anything came of that yet, so we have to still pay attention to the news to see what happens with that. A reporter also asked Trump if he, about this whole Putin situation, skipping that trip to Turkey to chat with Zelensky face to face for the peace agreement. Trump said, no. I said, why would he go if I'm not going? So, yeah, clearly Trump was not going to go. Figured that out a bit earlier this week. So, yeah. And it was just going to be Putin and Zelensky, so I guess Putin decided to just send his officials to do the same thing. I'm pretty sure they don't like Zelensky, is the bottom line here, but yeah. You know what else was important today? Well, we also got economic data, but also Powell's speech today. Let me look at the economic calendar. So we had this. Can I go to this week? This week. Okay, Monday, not much happened. Tuesday, we got CPI data, which was favorable for the market. So Tuesday was a good day. Wednesday, not much happened. Thursday, today, we got PPI data, which came in line with expectation, I think. Or it wasn't that bad. I don't remember what the data was, but it was good data nonetheless, I think. Defying market expectations. So producer prices fell. So that means inflation is not rising, right? First decline since October 2023. Sharpest drop since April 2020 during the aftermath of COVID outbreak. Yeah. Overall, this is good data, right? And then 8:40 a.m. Man, there's a lot of stuff here. Fed Chair Powell's speech, which not much was mentioned. We are still expecting... What is this? Okay. 2 rate cuts still expected for this year. Let me have a look at the percentages here. 33 days for the next FOMC meeting that's happening in June 18. 91% chance that nothing happens in that meeting. And then a 58% chance the meeting after in July, nothing happens. Now the meeting in September, a 98% chance we will be getting a rate cut. I'm no mathematician, but I think 98% chance is almost certain we will be getting a rate cut. And then in October or December, it's either a 59 or a 72% chance that we'll get a second rate cut. So I'm pretty sure by December, we'll have our second rate cut. Just as what the Fed projected earlier this year of, given a worst case scenario, we will be seeing at least 2 rate cuts. So that's it's still good, right? There is indeed no need to rush if you're looking at from Powell's perspective. Like, inflation is we're not in a deflationary state, right? Economy is just fine where it is, and the economic data that we have been receiving further backs that up, right? Tariffs doesn't seem to have driven inflation up, but he still wants to give it more time just to see if that is indeed the case. Maybe Trump is trying to manipulate stuff. That's why Trump is also a bit mad at him. Is like, oh, you're playing politics. Just cut the rates already. You see how good the economy is. And yeah, Trump does indeed want those rates cut, indeed. So he spoke today, bottom line. What did he say? He didn't say much. He didn't say anything about cutting rates or anything about the upcoming projections, economics, nothing of that. All he said was that the officials in the Federal Reserve, agree that the strategic language around both shortfalls of employment and average inflation need to be reconsidered. I'm guessing he's just going to change his terminology and how he speaks whenever he has to give a press conference. So yeah, really nothing came of that. Federal Reserve is rethinking how it talks about jobs and inflation. They have the 2 goals of keeping prices steady, inflation at 2%, and ensuring lots of people have jobs. That's the Federal Reserve's goal. Right now, they might change shortfalls, the word which means not enough jobs, to the word deviations, meaning jobs are too high or low, to better control inflation when job market is hot. They're also reviewing a confusing rule letting inflation run high sometimes to balance the past lows. This could affect interest rates and how they explain their plans. Some worry it might hurt job growth, while others think it'll clarify things. They're still discussing, no final decision yet. There you go. All right. That's all that happened in the US. Let's talk a bit about Canada in relation to the US. They've effectively suspended almost all of their retaliatory tariffs on US products, tamping down inflation risks and improving its growth outlook, according to Oxford Economics. That's probably good, right? But you're bending the knee to Donald Trump, and this is what people voted Mark Carney into office for, is to fight Donald Trump because Orange Man bad, TDS, you get the point. And it turns out it's, well, nothing came of that. You ended up losing the trade. You just gave up by doing this, right? Of course, me specifically, I was against this whole putting retaliatory tariffs because I just knew from a broader outlook, you're not going to win in a trade war against the United States. The United States doesn't really need Canada. Canada does need the United States. They are our biggest trading partner. Mark Carney tried to say it the other way around when he visited Donald Trump, which he could be right. I don't know the specifics, but he did say, Trump did say first, yeah, we don't need Canada much to do the trades, none of that stuff. But then Mark Carney replied to that saying, by the way, Canada is the United States' #1 trading partner. So you guys do need us, is what he said. But anyways, and is it true? Yes, here's Grok's analysis. Claims that Canada has effectively suspected most retaliatory tariffs on U.S. products, setting exemptions that reduce the impact to nearly zero. These exemptions cover manufacturing and health-related goods, but some tariffs, such as on food and clothing, those remain, reportedly. So it's not fully, it seems like. Official Canadian government statements don't fully confirm a suspension, focusing instead on countermeasures and specific relief measures. The discrepancy raises doubts about the full picture. For clarity, you could check Canada's official trade policy updates directly. Situation seems complex and not entirely settled. At least that's what's been talked about recently. Ultimately, this whole tariff stuff and investing in Canada is just not going well, and companies are starting to do that. We already know Hudson's Bay gone bankrupt. Bye-bye. Bell Canada, they're canceling a $32 million contract to expand high-speed internet and cell service in Canada, but instead they will be investing that money in the US because it's just so much better there, and we know that the US will have a better growth with everything that's happening. All these companies moving into the United States because of the tariffs, right? They don't want to get hit with a tariff, so they go into the United States to avoid those tariffs, start producing in there, making America richer, making Americans richer, giving more jobs to American people. It's overall just a win-win, but not for the other countries. And you'll notice that some people are still trying to avoid this whole thing. There is one thing actually I did want to talk about with Apple. Tim Cook. Donald Trump called him out, literally just called him out. I probably can find here, Tim Cook, something about Trump here. He said he had a little problem with Tim Cook yesterday. He said, Tim, look, we've treated you really good. We put up with all the plants that you built in China for years because Apple products are made in China. We're not interested in you building in India because Apple was going to move to India because of the China tariffs. India can take care of itself. We're not interested in you building in India, right? So come to the United States, stop dodging kind of deal is what he's saying. He wants him to hire Americans instead, basically. He just called him out, right? Why am I not following? Anyway, that was just interesting to see. You know who else is moving to the US is Honda. Best-selling SUV in North America is moving to the USA. Honda is moving their CR-V production from Canada into the US due to the tariffs. We're just losing and losing all these big companies and interest and investment in Canada. It's not there anymore under this great government we've elected. I say we, but not me. Mark Carney has bent the knee to Trump, removing all tariffs on American products. So yeah, that's it. It's over. Mark Carney also announces that he won't introduce a budget this year. which is like, what is this guy even doing? And what is he also elected his whole cabinet already? Um, he says that he's a very smart economist. You're not a smart economist. Okay, I don't know about that. Liberal ministers are already fighting pipelines, saying that no new ones should get built. That's like, what? Are you serious? Parliament has been shut down since December, and the former failed immigration and housing. Now, Justice Minister is talking about working from home. Great. New housing minister, who nearly tripled housing costs as Vancouver's mayor, is telling everyone the cost of housing is fine. That is literal gaslighting at its finest. And we're going to get the exact same thing as we did in the last 10 years. And yeah, even Pierre Poilievre is pointing this out. In 2 days, Mark Carney appoints a housing minister who nearly tripled housing costs as a Vancouver mayor. Mark Carney also announces that he will not introduce any budget this year. Before it was, oh, the budget will balance itself, according to Trudeau. Now this time, oh, there will be no budget. We don't got to worry about it. Like, where's the limit anyway? And then also Mark Carney's minister Guillen says no to any new pipelines, which is just great. Last 2 days look like a lot like the last 10 years. So yeah, we'll see whatever comes out of that. At least this was some good news, thanks to Doug Ford. 407 Express toll route is removing their tolls. It's a highway here in the GTA. So only if you're going eastbound, you will not have to pay tolls. But when you're coming back west, I'm assuming you do have to pay tolls. He posted this on Twitter saying, keeping costs down for families and businesses in the face of tariffs and economic uncertainty. Tariffs are gone now, by the way, for the most part. Today I announced that we are permanently cutting the gas tax and taking tolls off Highway 407 east only. It will save daily drivers $7,200 every year. That is absurd. But yeah, okay, cool. That means more people will be going there, but less congestion in the other major highways, I guess, that are already free, right? That could be good. Depends. East. Let me think. Would I even have to go east? No. Okay, well, it doesn't work. I mean, maybe if I do have to go west first, and then I can come back home on the east, but usually when you're driving like back home, the road trip is a little quicker, I think, right? I don't know. Maybe my friend comes visit me and he can come from the west side to the east side because I'm a bit more east. He could take that, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to discuss that with him later. Right, let's talk about some crypto news and stuff that's been happening around the world with crypto news. France is a terrible place to be in crypto. It's pretty much confirmed, especially ever since people like Pavel Durov, Telegram CEO, founder of Ton blockchain, got arrested in France. That was last year, and it caused Toncoin's price to just die, crash. And same with Notcoin, same with Dogs. The whole project failed. It seems like it's all in the dumpster. It's not that popular anymore. Anyways, I was just giving a preamble to France. 2 months ago, the Ledger co-founder was kidnapped in France. They chopped off his finger in an attempt to extort his co-founder. That is crazy. 1 week ago, the father of a crypto influencer got abducted in France. They chopped off his finger in an attempt to extort his son. Who is doing this? That was 2 days ago, people attempt to kidnap the daughter of an unnamed crypto exchange CEO, which happened in broad daylight in Paris, France. Luckily, they got away. Yeah. Seems like you can't be publicly known for being in crypto in France, otherwise you will get your finger chopped off by these criminals. Import the third world, become the third world. Crypto holders need to take IRL security seriously these days. Oh, and they may want to be extra cautious in France. Yeah. Not a lot of cool stuff going on there. That's why you shouldn't really explain or express how much exactly you have, because there could be malicious people out there. I'm just doing this for myself mainly. I don't really mind if you guys know anything. I really don't care, as long as you don't murder me, right? But yeah. Cyber attack on Coinbase. This also happened, which is not good. It was apparently some ransomware where these hackers got into the database of Coinbase, stole a lot of personal information of people. They didn't steal anybody's crypto specifically, but they have a lot of people's information, probably mine included in there because I do have a Coinbase account. I don't know. I will be extra cautious though. They could use that information to like call you and say, hey, look, I know this is your name and you live here and this is your account number for Coinbase. You were locked out of your accounts. Can I have your password? Or let me help you reset your password. Let me help you get logged in or something. And then like they go through the security stuff and hack into your account and steal all your crypto. That could happen. So you got to watch out for like phishing attacks in this case. But what they did was, like I said, it's ransom. It's a ransomware attack. So they have all this information and are demanding Coinbase to pay them money, or else they're going to release all this personal information. I'll get into more details of it. Yeah, photos of your government ID with all your personal data, driver's license, passports. It's, yeah, it goes a bit more beyond that because they have all this information from you. So, I don't know. What can these people do with your information? Like open other accounts under your name. Identity fraud is literally what it's going to be. Name, address, phone, email, masked social security, last 4 digits only, masked bank account numbers, and some bank account identifiers. They're masked though, so I'm pretty sure this means like they're hashed. They won't know exactly what it is, but you know, they could see like, they could try to match it, I guess, but it'll be quite difficult to do. Government ID images, driver's license, passport, account data, so your balance, transaction history. I don't do much on Coinbase anyway, so it's probably nothing for me. I would be probably among the least targeted. They would probably target people with big balances and lots of money, right? I only put like $100 in there and forgot about it, that's all. Limited corporate data, including documents, trading material, available support agents. Yeah, so it's not looking that great for Coinbase, and due to that, let me go check it dropped 7% today after rising significantly. This is from it being added to the S&P 500. I don't remember if I talked about that 2 days ago, but yeah, they got added to the S&P 500, which shot their price up a lot more. Being added to an index like that is significant news, right? You get a lot more trust, a lot more exposition, a lot more companies willing to invest in you. You know, it's overall just good. Why this not showing? Okay, there we go. So it became overbought, and obviously reversal was imminent, whether that came from fundamentals or not. There you go. So Coinbase is now 242. It had a drop today of 7%, like I said, due to that news, unfortunately, that Coinbase hack. Brian Armstrong came out and talked about it, saying that the hackers are demanding $20 million in Bitcoin from Coinbase, threatening to leak customer data.
Hey everyone.
He says, I want to make you aware of a disturbing email that we received recently at Coinbase. It was a ransom note demanding $20 million in Bitcoin in exchange for these attackers not releasing some information they claim to have obtained on our customers. That's also true. We don't know for sure if they actually have that information or not. They're just saying like, hey, we hacked you and we have all this information. Give us 20 mil or else we export that. He says he likes to do things transparently here at Coinbase. And so he's going to respond publicly to these attackers by saying, no, we're not going to pay your ransom. And in fact, I have a few next steps in mind that I'm going to share at the end of this video. I think it's like just a bounty. I'm not going to go through, of course, the whole 2-minute thing. It's a bounty on getting people to figure out who these hackers are, expose them, and get them, of course, thrown in prison or something, right? Yeah, that's about the end of that. And whoever did get impacted by that, pretty sure he mentioned that they would be reimbursed. Right, cool. Polkadot ETF. NASDAQ has granted an extension for the decision on the 21 shares spot Polkadot ETF. Yeah, well, it's happening. It will be happening, but it's getting delayed. Everything is getting delayed. Has Polkadot even moved at all? It has not moved. And what is it at? 482. That is pathetic. Why is it not above $7 like it used to be? 11 was its high point over here. It's not looking that good. Very inflationary coin, Polkadot. I did not mean to move this. Yeah, anyway. Okay. So there you go for Polkadot. Robinhood has acquired WonderFi, which is Canada's top cryptocurrency trading platform. I don't know about that. Is it really? I've really never heard of WonderFi like until today, but apparently Robinhood will be purchasing that. That means that Robinhood would be able to expand their services into Canada. That would be pretty good. I know Robinhood is very popular. It's like it would be a good competitor against something like Wealthsimple that is also very popular in Canada, right? In terms of stocks and crypto, zero commission on stocks, making buying and trading whatever easier. Yeah, well, we'll see. Stoked for that. Pump.fun platform could soon be banned in the United States due to upcoming cryptocurrency laws. I don't know what the specifics are on this. Is this even real? I mean, we did cover this, I'm pretty sure, like last year. Like, it's always been rumored, but I just wanted to. The reason I bring this up again is because it can happen, right? Pump.fun. I mean, I think this could be a good thing. Although I don't think it's going to happen because they already declared meme coins are not securities, right? The Securities Exchange Commission already said that. That's why Trump meme coin is allowed, right? But banning pump.fun where you could release meme coins and stuff like that. I mean, there's stuff that pump.fun has to take care of first. Complying with some laws, I think some rules need to be set in place. Of course, it would make it a bit less decentralized, but whatever. In order for it to function safely, we'll just say. Because a lot of crazy stuff happens on pump.fun, and we know about that. Alright, I also wanted to talk here about UnitedHealth. It was falling and falling for a couple days now. So, something that had to be talked about. UnitedHealth is in the Dow Jones Industrial Average Index, which has 30 of very important United States companies. And the largest holding, I'm pretty sure it's the largest holding, is UnitedHealth. That's why Dow Jones has been dropping. I think Dow Jones is a good entry right now because you're not directly investing in UnitedHealth, and UnitedHealth can recover, right? But let me find Dow Jones US 30. Dow Jones Industrial Average. It's already on its way up a little bit, right? Why did I have this here? Oh, this is me just trying to analyze this back in... When did I do this? May 2024, literally last year. I was trying to purchase Dow Jones over here. That's crazy. And look, I could have purchased it easily with this recent Black Monday drop. But no, we've recovered from here. But it hasn't been performing as well as, you know, S&P 500, which has already recovered most of what it's lost, or NASDAQ as well, in terms of indices. And this has to do because of the fact of UnitedHealth just dragging it down. So what really happened with UnitedHealth? Well, we know CEO got shot by Luigi Mangione. That was Brian something, I forgot his last name. They got a new CEO. Then we're getting that, of course, Trump with that big announcement that he made for big pharma companies. And of course, UnitedHealth gets impacted by that. Then the CEO stepped down. The next CEO that replaced the one that got assassinated, he stepped down. And a new one got in. We don't know much about him yet. And now they're announcing the Department of Justice is investigating them due to potential Medicare fraud. So it's just dropping and dropping. This is like the day before. Or yesterday, 290. And just today, it dropped even more. May 15th to 258. It's down another 16% today, bringing 1 month losses to nearly 60%. This is a Dow 30 component, which just erased $400 billion of market cap in 1 month. And this is a big company, like I said. Erased $18 billion of market cap per trading day for the last month straight. As a result, the company has gone from being one of the top 15 largest public companies in the world to not even making the top 50 list. That's how significant this drop is. Now, where is the floor is what a lot of people are saying, because we literally thought this would be the floor at 400, 420, 400, 380, 280, 250, which is where it is right now. Some people are saying now 220. This is an interesting reading analysis from Grok. Ratings for UnitedHealth are mixed as of May 15. Consensus leads towards strong buy from 25 analysts. That is still true, right? A lot of institutional companies have not changed their outlook for the company. They still think it's at a good level for buying. They still think it would recover from all this. 21 buy, 4 hold ratings. Recent downgrades to neutral by firms like Bank of America signal caution. Average price target is around 382. That's not that good. 382. With a range of 351 to 450 compared to the current price of 258 after 60% drop in a month. It's crazy, but could happen. And these are 1-year targets, right? This is just a potential upside, but skeptical of these projections given the leadership turmoil, regulatory probes, rising medical costs. These will all impact UnitedHealth. Markets volatility and recent earnings miss also added uncertainty. That's another thing, the earnings that came out for it. I should go look at UnitedHealth itself, huh? This is the drop that we're looking at. It all started with this bad earnings as well, April 17. From there, it's been kind of just decaying downwards, and then it just gotten worse and worse and worse over the course of literally the past month, right? When did Luigi happen? I don't know, like over here probably? Oh, this is 2023. I'm pretty sure like the guy got killed and then it rose and then it dropped. Was it over here? Like December, January? Could have been around here. I don't remember. But yeah. Just wanted to point that out. Possibly a good buying opportunity. Possibly. If we can find a floor, which could be over here. Maybe. 248 was its lowest point today. All right. We shall see. And the last bit of thing I will talk about for stocks is Warren Buffett updating his portfolio for the end of quarter 1, 2025. Biggest changes is reducing exposition in Bank of America stock, buying more Occidental Petroleum, selling DVA, buying VeriSign, buying SiriusXM, buying Constellation Brands, a lot more, buying Domino's Pizza, buying Pool Corp, and buying Heiko Corp. Heiko. What else did he sell? Capital One, sold T-Mobile, sold Charter Communications, and sold a lot of Liberty Media Corp Formula One Series C. Wonk. I never heard of that. Oh, cool. What else? This is, I'm assuming, Michael Burry, Bill Gates, selling Berkshire Hathaway. That's crazy because after Warren Buffett announced his retirement, he bought West Pharmaceutical Services. Interesting. Daniel Loeb, I don't know who this is, but here it is. David Tepper. Whoops. David Tepper. I never heard of these people. Carl Icahn. I heard of Carl Icahn. David Einhorn, Chase Coleman, Leon Cooperman, Chris Hahn. I never heard of these people. Ray Dalio, Bridgewater. Here's all these holdings if you really care. I cannot tell what's going on here, but yeah. Yeah, just whale activity. People with billions of dollars. If you want to know what they're doing, there it is. There you go. Forecast for the Fed fund rates is 1 possible cut in June, 1 in September, 1 in March 2026. Are you sure? Whatever. Still 2 rate cuts for this year. 1 more next year. 2 rate cuts for this year is what we're expecting. All right. Bitcoin's still rising. 103,900. There we go. Started off at 103,500. So kind of on our way back up. Turning a little green here. Hopefully this will shine onto some of the altcoins as well to start rising once again. That's what I'm hoping for at least. What's going to happen tomorrow? Literally nothing. Right? Can we go to today and tomorrow? Wow. Really? Nothing's tomorrow? Why are you lying this week? Friday. They lied to me. That's crazy. Building permits. Yeah, no, nothing important. What about next week? That's something I should probably check out. Monday will be a Victoria Day for Canada. Tuesday, nothing's happening. Wednesday, nothing. Thursday, nothing. Okay. This could be good, could be bad as well. Could be a boring week, but it could be, nothing to really be scared of other than just any news headlines that will be coming out. Trump's going to be coming back. I don't know what other stuff he's going to sign, or maybe finishes more trade deals. Could be bullish, my opinion. Or bearish. Maybe decay. I don't know. Yeah. Still, like, in the long term. Long term. Look at weekly chart. We can still go higher, no doubt. Right? I don't think we're going to go up as sharply as this. That's why I think a correction could happen to around over here. And then we can continue, maybe. We'll see. Alright, that's where I'll end the stream here then. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe. 104,000. If we hit 104,000, I end stream. Is there anything else I want to talk about? Trading bots? No, not really. Come on, hit 104 so I can end stream. We're almost there, 103.9. Okay, there we go. 104. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. Bye.